Hey everyone, it's Nancy and I am here as promised to show you how I did the stenciling background using the light molding paste and how I created the walls on my Diagon Alley mini album. So what we're going to use is just a piece of chipboard for a sample, and you're going to use, this is the light molding paste, but you can use the regular molding paste as you want, but as a reminder I use this one because it doesn't add all the weight that the other one will add to your project. And we'll use, let me see which color might show up a little better. I'm thinking this one. We'll use this one as our base color, and then we'll use this one for our brickwork. So I'm going to paint the piece of chipboard with this base color, and I'll be right back. Okay, so our chipboard piece is mainly dry, and whatever color you put as your base coat, or whatever color your base coat is going to be the color that's seen for like your grouting. Okay, so that'll be shown in between your bricks. So what we're going to do while we wait for that to finish drying is I'm going to take my little mixing mat and my molding paste, and I'm going to put just a little bit, don't need a whole lot, on my mat. And I can always add a little more later if I need to, but for now this is plenty. And we're going to select our color. So I think I'm going to go with the Ranger Pebble for our brick color. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and just get some of the pigment out of here, just some color. You don't need a whole lot. And I'm going to add it to that mat. I don't want to stick my same brush back in there because I don't want to get any of that molding paste transferred into it. Okay, that should be plenty. Just move this for a minute. Get the rest of this paint onto here. Okay. Let me just wipe off the ends of these paintbrushes real quick. Okay, so now that I have the paint on my little palette, I'm going to just mix it in, making sure to smush that color up in there together really well, so that it's completely blended, and basically so that you don't see any more white. And you can kind of see the consistency of that. Okay, so let me move my larger non-stick mat in here, and we're going to use all of the stencils. I'll show you how they all look, but we're going to start with the large brick one because it'll be easier. So all I'm going to do is just lay that brick stencil right where I want it, And then I'm just going to start applying the mold paste like this. You're just going to kind of put it down and then spread it around all over your area and down into your stencil. Then I just kind of, once I get the whole thing covered, I just kind of smooth it out a little bit. And then all you're going to do is just lift your stencil up, and there's your brick pattern. Okay, so that was for the large bricks. Just take this off. And then we'll do, let's do this, this is a leopard print, but I use it for like cobblestone work, okay? So just the same thing, and be careful not to touch your stencil to the wet area of your previous one. You might have to move your stencil around and use different sides. So it's kind of almost like frosting a cake. You just want to get it on there and smear it around. I like the lighter tones for the actual bricks because then I can go in with inks, primarily distress inks, well really just distress inks, and add that dimension with my ink colors. So I'm going to lift this up, and here you can see the brick one and the cobblestone one. And then we'll use, let's do some of these small bricks on the side. Again, just line it up. And paint it down in there. And this is that little basket is what I'm using for the little small bricks. But it's just the brick pattern that I'm after, so to me I don't care that it was a basket. Okay, so that's all on there. I'm just going to smooth it out. Lift it up. So there is the small bricks, which is the basket. And see, I can't really lay my stencil like this because this will lay on top of it. So all I'll do is just wipe that off, the part that's still left on the stencil. Just grab a wipe real quick. So I'm just going to wipe that off, what's on the stencil. Okay. And rather than going like this again, I'm going to flip the stencil over, put it right up against the other one, and this little area right here will give my divider corner. and just repeat the process. Once you start getting the molding paste on there well, it'll kind of stick the, it'll help to stick the template on there for you, so it's not so wiggly around. It'll actually help to hold it in place for you. Okay, so there's the second row. You can see there. And then for this last one, let's see, we'll use, oh, it's going to touch. I have this star one, so let's use this star. Let's see, and this little area is going to create a really big gap in between the two sets, so I'm going to trim this stencil down so that it doesn't have a lot of space for the in-between. I'm just doing the star one just for something different. Lift it up, there you go. Okay, so here is the finished piece of chipboard. You can see the large brick pattern here, and then this small one along here, and then this is like the cobblestone, and then just some stars for fun. So I'm gonna let this dry. It's gonna take it several hours or so, but I'm gonna come back once it's dry and I'll show you how I inked it up to give the dimensions. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay everyone, so the molding paste is dry. I actually just let this sit from yesterday until today, and let me show you. You can see how each one has a depth, and you know, you can apply this as thick or as thin as you want on your project. You know, it's up to you. So today I'm going to show you how I inked it up, and mainly I used the Pumice Stone Distress Ink by Tim Holtz, and this is a great kind of an uncolor where, you know, it gives color, but it's a great blending color because it's so neutral. So all I do is, of course, just ink up the applicator and get down in there, get down in all the crevices, and then go on top of the molding paste as well. You can kind of tell here how it's altered the color of it just a little bit. And the molding paste, it feels kind of soft and squishy, like it can take like your finger imprint, but it'll actually pop it back up. It won't damage it. It's actually pretty cool. Okay, so that's just a basic inking with the first ink. And then say you take, we'll do brushed corduroy. And what I'm going to do is just hit it a little bit like that. And I know it looks kind of funky, but I'll go in with the blending tool and I'm just going to pounce it. Not so much to blend it or smear it, it's just kind of pounce the color off a little bit. I know this looks really scary looking, but it'll get there. Okay, and we'll do some frayed burlap. I'm going to kind of do like the same thing. Just kind of hit those little raised spots a little bit. And then do the same thing and just run it down in there. You can see here. So let's do some gathered twigs, and since these new pads are really kind of gushy, I'm just going to do my tool. I'm just going to put a little on there. And now I'm going to take a baby wipe and just remove some of it. Not all of it, just kind of pounce it down. This also will help to add some more texture too. You can see that. So then we'll do black soot. And again, I'm just going to kind of pounce that color in. And all this is doing is just adding some depth and dimension to the mold putty. Again, I'm just going to kind of pounce it up. And you can just keep adding layers of color, like this is just a dried vintage photo. So see, that's how you can just color it up. And for the most part, the grout area will stay unless you really get down in there and color it. And I did change the color of it a little bit with the pumice stone. So if you can see how it changed the color. So, I mean, it is, you know, it's pretty fun to work with. It's pretty cool, and, you know, you can color it up however you want. And you don't have to do, like, bricks or stones or, you know, you can do whatever patterns you want with it for your project. So, I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks for watching.